You're listening to the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Carpenter.
I'm Dasha.
Hey, I'm Billie Eilish.
What's up, guys? I'm Camila Cabello.
Hey, this is Tate McRae.
I love this station.
I love this station.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to In the Know with Jenny. Get ready to join us on a journey of discovery. Our fearless host is breaking down barriers and tackling any topic with boldness and wit. From relationships to personal growth to the latest headline, no subject is off limits. Each episode, Jenny shares her unique perspective and leads thought-provoking discussions on everything from political mayhem to pop culture and beyond. You'll be entertained, educated, and inspired with each new episode. So, grab a cup of coffee, lace up your sneakers, or just sit back and relax. It's time to get in the know every Wednesday. In the Know is more than just a radio show. It's a movement towards a better future for all. Our mission is to empower and inspire our listeners to take action. Dream big and make a difference in the world. Challenge the status quo and delve into the depths of the human mind and spirit together.
Welcome back to In the Know. We're diving back into the Menendez brothers. Am I saying it right, Kate?
Menendez. I know.
Menendez.
Let me hear it said a bunch of times so I know what I'm saying.
Brothers. It's a hard one.
There's an extra N in there.
An extra N. Okay. Well, this story shocked the world and continues to spark debate. But before we get into it, I want to introduce a special co-host joining me today, Kaitlyn Colgate. We had that problem last week. Or last one was that last month.
Yeah.
On the beginning of the month. Okay. Well, Kaitlyn is 28. I shouldn't have told you her age, but anyway,
it's okay.
She's fascinating. Has a fascinating background. Originally from Ohio, she spent 8 years as a firefighter EMT in Florida. And after her service as a first responder, wow, this is great. She transitioned into politics driven by the union background and a family legacy in the field. In 2019, she joined a congressional campaign team. Wow. And soon after that became a regional field director for the Trump campaign. Ooh, I love it. Where she worked to boost voters' turnout across Florida. Kaitlyn's experience doesn't stop there. She has been an officer in the National Federation of Republican Women for the last 5 years. And after moving to Texas in 2023 with her husband, a retired Marine, she founded the Republicans Women's Club. That's amazing, Kaitlyn.
It's crazy.
I know. Folks, your focus is on educating, empowering women in politics, and she's passionate advocate for veterans and first responder mental health. This is wonderful. That's a wonderful bio.
Thank you.
You're very proud. So now on today's topic. Now, we touched a little bit about it in the beginning of the month, but the reason why I'm coming back today is because earlier this month we touched about the case and we got so many comments on the live stream, and we're diving deeper into the shocking details and recent developments. And there's a quick note. If you have kids nearby, this is a mature content, so you may want to be cautious because we're going to show some really intense videos. So to refresh your memory, Lyle and Eric were just teenagers, 18 and 21 years old. And when they shot that's when they shot their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in their Beverly Hills mansion. The two brothers were arrested in 1990 and highly publicized trial began in 1993. And I know you probably were I
wasn't even alive then.
Wasn't alive, but I was, and I had two small children. Yeah. So it's a tough thing. And I remember watching it when OJ this happened. Theirs was a little bit before OJ Simpson. And then we also had the there was a
case like right before theirs.
Yeah.
Then there's the mistrial and then the OJ case.
Yeah. So I think I have some of those. So I can't remember. I know what I'm talking about, but I have it right. I don't want to mess up his name either. So, the testimony revealed chilling details that Lyle claimed he was abused from the age of 6, while Eric said the abuse started for him around the same age and continued until the tragic events. So their father, Jose, held powerful position in Hollywood, including CEO of the Hertz Company and RCA Records, with witness describing him as a domineering and aggressive man, even outside the family. For the brothers, speaking out of the alleged abuse was not only difficult, but it was, in their own words, terrifying. And the thing is, we're going to play a little bit of the testimony, but Kaitlyn, did you read up on that? I mean, have
Yeah,
you
I've
seen?
read up. I've seen some of the TikToks over the last few months, and then I have watched the Netflix documentary.
Right.
So they show a little bit of the clips of the testimony, and then seeing people like I don't know how they didn't believe them back then. I think it was pretty. I mean, it felt very vulnerable. It felt very honest, but also very vulgar. Like, I don't think a 19-year-old boy would say some of those things.
Yeah, so we're gonna
That's
watch
kind of
the
where I went with it.
tapes. No, why would they? I mean, if you look at their emotions,
Yeah,
it can't be
it'd
fake,
be
it
faked.
can't be
Yeah.
acting, it seems genuine, and the thing is, who would make stuff up like that?
Yeah, and that time period too. Now people make stuff up, I think, more nowadays, right? But back then, I think there was just less than people doing that. But you could see, like, even in some of their videos of their testimony,
Mhm.
they weren't like using the same exact words. At that point, I think it would have been planned if they were saying the same exact things, using the same exact words. And I didn't see that from my perspective. But I
Yeah.
saw a lot of emotion, a lot of choking up from especially Lyle, who seemed like the more tough one. He showed have a lot of emotion during that testimony.
Yeah, and it goes the thing is, the second trial, they were
They were gagged.
guilty, but they didn't talk about the
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah,
They
the
weren't
judge
allowed to
they weren't
talk
allowed
about the
to, yeah.
abuse. They weren't allowed. So we're gonna play the first one, and, there's, like, 80 different comments, from the other live stream that we had,
Mhm.
and so what we'll do is watch some of the testimony of the 2 brothers, and we'll come back to this, and I'm gonna read some of this because there were so many, and it was such a powerful. Right now, they have a chance to be free,
Mhm.
but they were in there for a long time.
Yeah, let's
They were
see.
in there their whole life, their whole adulthood was in prison for something. Yeah, they killed their parents, but was it justified? I believe it was after you hear this. So remember, if you have little kids, please just turn it off because it's not, this is really strong testimony. And I even talked to one of my other co-hosts from the show before of Chasing Prophecy, and he didn't even know that this is how difficult. And so, oh, it's awful. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hi, Mark. And if you're listening, we're talking about
The
the Menendez,
Menendez
the
brothers.
Menendez brothers. Okay. I even have the pronunciation here, but I still screw it up. So if this is okay, you can listen. If not, please remember this is very graphic.
6 and 8. Did your father have sexual contact with you?
Yes.
And how did it start?
Just started with, after sports practices, he would massage me, and we would have these talks, and he would show me, and he would fondle me, and he would ask me to do the same with him, and I would touch him, and we would undress.
Where would this take place?
In my bedroom.
And how often would this happen?
like 2 or 3 times a week.
And for how long did this happen?
Not too long. It began to change.
When did it begin to change?
I'm not sure exactly at what time, but almost close to when I was 7.
And how did it change?
Just became more involved.
What do you mean more involved?
We would be in the bathroom, and he would put me on my knees, and he would guide me, all my movements, and I would have oral sex with him.
Did you want to do this? At some point, did he do some other things to you?
Yes.
What else did he do to you?
He used objects.
What kind of objects?
A toothbrush and some sort of shaving utensil brush.
And what would he do with the toothbrush?
Well, in the bedroom, we'd have what we called object sessions, and just slide my pants down or take my pants off. Sometimes it'd be for a short period of time, sometimes longer. Just lay me on the bed and he'd have a tube of Vaseline, and he just played with me.
And was there some point in time when he decided to use something besides the toothbrush?
Yes.
And did he try to anally penetrate you with something else?
He did.
And what was it?
He raped me.
Did you cry?
Yes.
Did you bleed?
Yes.
Were you scared?
Very.
Did you ask him not to?
Yes.
How did you ask him not to?
I just told him, I don't. I just told him that I didn't want to do this, and that it hurt me. And he said that he didn't mean to hurt me, and he loved me.
Was that important to you, that he loved you?
Yes, very. But I still didn't want to do it.
Did you tell your mom?
Yes.
What did you say to your mom?
I told her to tell Dad to leave me alone.
I don't know why it's shaking like that. There's not even no words. That was raw emotion.
I don't think a human could have made that up. I think he was like 19 at the time. Like,
It's
yeah,
hard to believe
around that
anyone
age.
could fabricate such
Yeah.
raw memories like that.
Yeah.
And it's
Um,
just,
and then I think at that time, people were so blind to like, could people actually do this? Like, what was a man capable of doing this to his own child? I mean, that was
that was
probably
one of the biggest thing because
that
they
was
said the men jurors, they didn't think men did that to their own kids.
and then nowadays we would say, yeah, absolutely, people do that. Like, absolutely, that could happen to someone's own kid. I mean, you hear stories all the time of the craziness of people, but not then. I mean, and for that not to be told at the second trial.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a very difficult topic. Yes. Yeah, and we can see in the replies in the comments. So we're gonna listen to his brother,
Okay.
and then we're gonna talk about this because it was Rodney. That was the guy's name, Rodney King. Is it Rod? Yeah, Rodney King. The case with the cop, the beating of Rodney King. Said
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. You're catching me
that
up.
was it. Yeah, that was the case. Yeah, okay, back to my brain. But they had, to me, it seems like the judge was so like, I have to convict somebody because of what was going on, because of OJ and Rodney. They had to put somebody in jail. So well, let's listen to his brother Lyle. And this one, he was the older brother and he was trying to protect that was the younger brother.
What do you believe was the originating cause of you and your brother ultimately winding up shooting your parents?
Me telling.
You telling what?
Me telling Lyle that,
You telling Lyle what? Was it you telling Lyle about something that was happening?
my dad.
Okay.
My dad.
Your Honor, can I ask a leading question?
If you don't ask.
My dad.
Wait 1 second, Mr. Menendez. Okay, let me ask.
No, he was in the process of answering, so there's no need to ask him.
Can you answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, it was you telling Lyle what?
My dad had been molesting me.
And did you want something from your brother? Is that why you told him?
I wanted it to stop.
Were you seeking help from your brother?
I don't know why it's doing that.
Mr. Menendez,
Can hear the
during
audio.
the summer of 1989, were you being sexually molested by your father?
Yes.
And when did that begin? How old were you?
I was 6 years old.
6 years
How
old.
long, from the time you were 6 when you say your father started to molest you, how long did that go on?
12 years.
12 years he had to put up with that. I want to see if I mouse forward it a little bit.
Did the type of
No,
sexual
it's not going to do that.
activity
That's too annoying.
Nice sex. Nice sex.
He called it, he had different names for his
Yeah.
sex.
Like as they
What was
grew
another
up.
kind?
Well, we got the idea. I can't handle doing that up and down thing. So I don't know why it's doing that. It must be something with the internet over here in Pennsylvania. I don't know. It's just, they deserve, if I was there, I would have took them and brought them home. But it seems like the judge, as the trial unfolded, that Judge Stanley Weisberg, known for his involvement in the Rodney King case, became a central figure. Many believe that his drive to secure conviction of the case stemmed from the controversial outcome of the King case. And Lyle's attorney, Jill Lansing, and Eric's attorney, Leslie Aberson, presented a compelling argument. The murders were all done from severe abuse, and you can see, I'm sorry, but
I think you can see a real abuse right there. Like,
you could see it in their emotion. That's not fabricated. It's
and
not.
for them to continue even decades later that this still happened and still stand by that. I mean, He's been in prison
Yeah.
for 30 years. Like, he knows he doesn't have to stand by that anymore. But
Yeah, and they said because as soon as it happened, they went out and they went on a spending spree. They bought cars, they bought all kind of stuff, clothes, watches, Rolexes. And so they had to, tell why would you do that if you were
yeah,
innocent? But it was trauma. I can see that they're
but this
still
is
young kids.
they were, yeah, like 18, 19, I don't know, like, not even 20 years old. I don't believe so. But, I mean, what you're used to just having this lavish lifestyle, and now you don't have somebody even watching over you at all. I think for a moment, they felt they had, like, complete freedom, at the moment. I think there was a time where they really did believe, uh, they weren't gonna have to
I
serve
think
any time for
they felt
this.
like, yeah,
And
they
they
thought they could be.
finally felt free from their parents. And even though their mom may not have been abusing them, for a mother to know that that's happening to your child, and if this is going on for 12 years, she has to know.
Oh, yeah, she knew,
She
but
has
she
to
didn't
know.
she was I don't know if she was so scared of him,
Yeah.
like, why would you even stay? But
What if he was
'cause I
abusing her
can't
too?
yeah, she knew what they were doing in that
Yeah.
room, that locked room, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just in the mansion in Beverly Hills, it was all his different houses and
Mhm.
his vacation homes, he did it there, it didn't matter, and then he wanted the one kid was it Eric that was gonna go to a different was it Princeton?
Oh,
And
they wanted to go to, like, out of state college
yeah, but
in
he wanted them
Denver.
to go to UCLA so he can
Yeah.
keep tabs on him and so he can have his little fun when he would come to town. It's sickening.
It's
It
disgusting.
it's sickening, the whole thing. So, right now what's going on, we have a new judge. Okay, the first trial was a hung jury.
Mhm.
So they went the second trial, they
It was
couldn't
like,
tell it was just like murder trial where they couldn't
yeah.
put any of the abuse, which is I cannot believe that actually happened. That is so bizarre that they it
I don't
makes me
know
so angry.
what exactly how he let that who let him not let that in? Like, was no one paying attention?
Yeah. Well, it's funny though, because one of the kids for the band, there was a young band, what's it
Uh-huh.
called? The
Oh, Menudo.
Menudo.
Yeah.
He came forward and said that he was molested too by Jose.
Now, was
So
that recently that he
yeah.
came forward? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was, and I do think that since they're going into a lot of people are saying speculating because this new
Gascon.
the the district attorney
Mhm.
is being up for reelection,
Mhm.
and that's why it's going. And but then he has so many people like Rosie O'Donnell and Kim Kardashian standing up for him. I mean, I would stand up for them because I
Oh,
truly
yeah.
believe that, they should be set free. They served more time than they needed to because you
Yeah.
know what, Caitlin? What about what's that one Daisy? Oh, what's her name? Gypsy Rose, who
Gypsy
killed
Rose.
she
Yeah.
killed her mother,
She's out.
and she's out. And what's the I even have a relative
Yeah.
that
Well, if they would have been found on the manslaughter charge, which was the first trial, it was either manslaughter or first degree murder, they would have been out already.
yeah, they
So
would have
even
been
if you
out.
found them guilty of manslaughter, I mean, they admitted they killed their parents, they would have already been out,
Mhm. Yeah,
decades ago.
they would have got out on good behavior
Yeah.
for, but I know some personal people in my own sphere that committed murder
Yeah.
and they served time in a mental institution. They never even had a gun. They're already out.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how these people aren't,
Well, I
these
think
poor
it was post OJ, right?
yeah.
And OJ got away, did OJ get away with it? I don't know, that's probably a whole 'nother,
They had to
uh
put somebody in,
yeah,
yeah.
and so they found them guilty. To me, I think it was more of a not necessarily a political decision when that happened, 'cause I don't know the politics that were kinda going around that sphere at the time, but I think that judge had to do something.
Mhm.
The judge had someone was telling him to find somebody guilty of something,
Yeah,
and
they
they
had
were
to
the
put
next
somebody in
people on the
jail.
docket.
Yeah, they had to put somebody in. They had to
And
put
so
somebody
now
white in
looking at
prison. Yeah.
Gascon, I mean, he has tons of people that are saying, "Let him out, like,
Yeah.
they're up for parole."
So, I do think if I was I think that they should be out immediately. I don't think they should have to wait 6
parole
months.
board.
I think that I don't even think there should be nothing. They should just be released on good behavior and hell with it. But some of the comments, they're pretty bizarre. Like Karen Stewart said, "How many years do you get for child abuse or molesting a child? That should be deducted from their sentence. Fair is fair." Yes. What do you think?
I think it's two separate issues. I do believe in the judicial system. I mean, I can't say, well, they should have got this and they should have got that. Like the dad can't get anything, right?
Yeah, the dad's dead. So
Yeah.
is
It's apples to oranges, you know?
no,
I
but
don't know.
Sue Dossett said, "For all the people who think these two are sweet, innocent, are you willing to take the two into your home?"
Good point. I mean, I don't know. I think they had trauma. I think they were abused.
Yeah,
Like,
they definitely were abused. And then one said they should. Liz Holy said they should remain in jail. Then the comments said, "Don't you think they suffered enough hell?" I think they did.
I
Definitely.
agree. And
I
again, it kind
definitely.
of just to me, it kind of goes back. If they would have got that manslaughter charge, they would have already been out. Maybe they maybe would have got 10 to 12 years on a manslaughter charge, got out on good behavior in 8 to 10, maybe.
Yeah.
And this would have been they would have been moved on with their lives decades ago. The good thing is it looks like I saw some pictures of one of them. It looks like one's in really good health. You know, maybe he can have another 10,
They
20.
look both like the one is
Yeah.
married. I
Oh,
think
okay.
Eric is married. I think they're pretty, yeah, they look
Yeah.
pretty. They're not that they're in their 50s,
Yeah,
but
they're
they
not
still have,
they're not bad, but they could have another 10, 15,
yeah,
20 years, maybe
yeah,
longer than that.
a better life. And then let's see what some of these comments are so crazy.
And
Okay.
no one's gonna have to take them in. They have money. They're gonna get some money back from this Netflix
Oh,
series.
hopefully
They're
they
gonna get
will.
some of these, just like Gypsy Rose. She got out of prison and she's a millionaire. They're
Yeah.
gonna get on all these series, all these news stations are gonna have them
New
on.
books, yeah.
Books. Yeah. They're gonna be okay. No one's gonna have to put them in their house.
What's this one? I said, Shannon Rollman says, "Shame on me. What little SOB should have left home then?"
Oh, but it goes back to like Stockholm syndrome. Would you have left? I mean, look at women that are in abusive relationships. They don't leave either.
Then
I
it says, "We're
mean,
sick." It says they should be electrocuted or stick a needle in their
oh,
arm. Be done with them. They're sick. And if you think they need out, so are you.
oh.
Wow. Well, that's not nice. And then Dan said, "Clearly you do not understand how fouled our system can be.
Mhm.
Where could they go? The boys tried reaching out to family. The mom knew. Do your research. The one boy had been manipulated and abused from the age of 6. The world is not as simple as you might be thinking it is. I do not have sympathy for their parents. What's done is done. They are gone. And as far as I'm concerned, the world is a better place. Just do a little research on their abuse. They are allegedly suffered." There was one the documentary said that Eric, when he was 2 years old, his dad made him hold on to a pole.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he wasn't allowed to cry because if he cried, that showed he was weak. But his dad wanted him to toughen him up, but that doesn't make sense. So you belittle him and did all this weird stuff to him. That's going to toughen him up. I wish they would have still. I mean, I hate to say it, but I wish they would have killed him earlier.
Well, I think the prosecutor, didn't she make a comment that, the world may be a better place without
Oh
Jose
my God.
Menendez in it? I mean, so
Very.
she's like, "But they were still murdered." And I'm like, "Yeah, but," right? Like, "Yeah, but."
I guess taking the justice system into their own hands was
Yeah.
but I tell you what, think of it this way. If you're a parent, would you let somebody do that to your
Mhm.
child?
Yeah. I saw a GoFundMe for a dad, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. A family was raising a fund. She ended up having to delete the GoFundMe because you can't raise funds for a legal defense, by the way, for a criminal legal defense. But it was the same thing. The daughter got molested the daughter got I can have these details wrong, but I know the daughter got molested. He pulled the daughter out of the car that the guy was in and ended up killing the guy in an altercation.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a parent, like, what do you isn't that your
Yeah.
job to protect them? And yeah, like the judicial system has a place for that. But when the prosecutor said, well, these boys were old enough, they could have left. Like, I mean, their money still wasn't their money. It was their parents. But again, Stockholm syndrome, these people aren't going to leave.
Yeah, and they said the reason they were groomed so much, that's why they didn't leave, because they were scared to leave. I mean, he did threaten to kill them.
Yeah.
He did say that, because Lyle went and he said, if you don't leave Eric alone, his dad said, I'm going to kill you.
Well, that was their whole defense, was like, if we're going to kill them, like if they're going to kill us, then we're going to fight back. And, I don't know what entailed that night. I don't. None of us really do.
Yeah, we'll be anxious to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, and I'm praying they do get out. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to get to what's going to happen next week. Okay,
7 days.
7 days.
Walmart.com.
Samantha survives a tragic accident thanks to Lucian, an enigmatic being. Her newfound abilities catch the attention of a secretive government agency. Drawn to Lucian despite the danger, Samantha is unaware of his true identity. She teams up with Lucian's brothers in a daring mission to rescue him. Accused unfairly, Lucian seeks refuge on his distant homeworld. Can Samantha prove Lucian's innocence and save their forbidden love? From the Sky by J.E. Nicasio. Available now. Get your copy on Amazon and BNN.
Beyond the Radar with host Tom Conway, your paranormal news program. Tune in Wednesdays at 8 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Over the centuries, occurrences from the enigmatic realm have become less, enigmatic. So if conversations about the supernatural, myths and legends, mind-bending conspiracies, and haunting stories of ghosts are things you take seriously, we have the podcast that you can call home. Chasing Prophecy. Just because something is unexplained doesn't make it any less real. We're more than just a podcast. We're a community for those who dare to look beyond the scope of normal. For those who are aware of the abstract and interact with a show that speaks to them. Broadcasting from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, the show stands out as the city's premier paranormal radio program. Come and hang with host Jenny Nicasio and Tom Conway on Chasing Prophecy.
Bookish Podcast, hosted by Emma Saylor, is a unique look at all things literature and is your radio book club. Read along as Emma takes us through discussions of her books of the month, and you can chime in and give your feedback as well. Tune in Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Meet Daniel Knight, a psychologist with an extraordinary gift to absorb and heal the deepest wounds of the mind. In the heart of a chilling investigation, every secret unraveled binds him closer to darkness. But as he delves into the psyche of a killer, his own demons emerge. Caught in a battle within and against an evil that seeks to exploit his powers, where the line between savior and victim blurs. Dare to heal the wounds of the mind. Healer. Read it today.
Welcome to the extraordinary world of the Chasing Prophecy radio show, where we delve into the mysteries of the universe and the depths of the human mind. Our listeners are a unique blend of curious minds and adventurous spirits, always eager to learn, explore, and discover. They're not just listeners, they're a community. And what better way to reach this vibrant, engaged audience than by advertising with us? When you advertise on Chasing Prophecy, you're not just buying airtime. You're becoming a part of a conversation, a part of our family. We offer a variety of advertising packages tailored to fit your needs and budget. And with our dedicated team, we'll ensure your message resonates with our listeners. So why wait? Grab this opportunity to amplify your brand with Chasing Prophecy Radio Show. Let's embark on this journey together. Chasing Prophecy Radio Show, where your brand meets our community. Fill out our advertising form on our website, www.chasingprophecyradio.net, to get started. That's www.chasingprophecyradio.net to get started.
Guess I have to turn it off, huh? So, Kaitlyn, we're coming down to the wire.
7 days. Oh my goodness. I have a countdown on my phone. I am so excited. For so many reasons. One, it's like the final end of the Trump era, right? I mean, if he wins, we get 4 years of it. But the final end of this running for president. That'll be great. And then, go ahead.
I'm excited about it. I get a little nervous. I don't want to be too overly excited. Yeah. I mean, I keep looking at the polls.
The polls are real, though. I mean, I get texts all the time. I don't answer them, or I mess with them. You know, like, how real are those? I think Kamala Harris supporters are like, yeah, we're Kamala Harris supporters. And then hard Trump supporters are hard Trump supporters. But I don't think anybody in the middle really answers those things correctly, because a hard Democrat that's voting for Trump's probably not going to tell anybody. Like, I just don't foresee them telling anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know I keep watching the news. I keep seeing, I look at the early voting, and then I look at, Camilla's side, and I look at Trump's side, and there's like neck and neck. So who's really telling the truth? And then I see some things I've been watching on the internet, TikTok and on YouTube. So I wanted to get your opinion on some of these, because there's some really crazy ones. And one of them I saw today is one woman was she was at the Trump rally for not Trump rally for Harris rally.
Oh, the Kamala Harris rally.
And she was
one?
This one,
the one that Beyonce didn't perform.
Well, I have that too. I think I have that too. Do I have that one? I might. Yeah. This one was somebody was directly behind Kamala. Okay, and her eyes did something strange. How do you say her name? Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Hopefully we don't have to say that for 4 years.
Yeah, I don't want to say, because it makes me nauseated. She makes me sick in the stomach. She reminds me of the witch on the Wizard of Oz. Okay, I know that's really harsh. But
I've never pictured that, but now I'm going to every time.
You will. Okay, I'm going to play this because there's two videos. There's more than two videos. There's a lot of different videos on this particular woman behind her. Her eyes do something. They even used they turn it to a negative. They can't explain it. So I want you to see this. Where'd it go? Okay, I have to rewind it. I don't know why it's stuck on that part. Okay, that's the infrared negative.
Watch your eyes.
Watch her eyes.
Watch it.
They said that we're in a battle of good and evil.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I've seen.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's another view of that one.
Ooh.
So that's kind of creepy.
There's
just a different view of it. Somebody else did it. They're watching this.
Yeah.
And look at her eyes. Okay, explain to me what the hell's going on.
I have. That's evil. That's the devil. I'm telling. I'm telling people, like, voting for Kamala Harris at this point is voting for the devil.
Look, you explain that to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
Watch it again, because if you're just tuning in, this was at a Harris rally, and there's a woman behind her.
Yeah, It is creepy.
We're in a battle against good and evil. It's a spiritual war.
I completely agree that this is a spiritual war, and that's what amazes me, that Christians aren't getting out to vote. Like, why not? But voting for Kamala Harris at this point is voting for the devil. I don't care.
Yes.
I don't
No,
even care
definitely,
about
you're voting for the devil. I mean, what about the rally where she screamed,
you're at the
"You're at the wrong rally"?
Yeah. And she didn't address it. That was like when I had made a TikTok about that and got thousands of like just comments about, no, she didn't read do your research. And I was like, but she hasn't addressed it.
She hasn't
She never addressed it.
She didn't. Why didn't she?
Because she knew she knew
she was an evil bitch.
and she knew what she was responding to. People are like, oh, well, she was responding to something else. Then she would have addressed it. Because you just
should have addressed
the whole country.
All the Christians.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then she didn't go to the dinner.
Oh, the
Christian one. I don't know
the Catholic, like the
Catholic
comedy show. I don't know, but it's a tradition for them to kind of like pit at each other, and then she didn't go.
She didn't go. And
no, it is but she didn't make a statement. That was kind of like my argument with everybody about it. Is like, okay, well, if she was saying that to something else, then she would have come out and made a statement about it. But she never addressed it.
She didn't. This is another one where I guess she told her followers, her supporters, that Beyonce was going to be at her rally and singing. Did she actually say that she was going to sing?
I couldn't find anything that said she was going to sing, but even MSNBC had said that her rally goers were under the impression that Beyonce was going to perform. Okay, and then it was just like this nice queen wig. They got bait and switch so
this
bad.
Is funny. They booed her. They're booing her.
Yeah. See you later.
Apparently, this is because people came expecting Beyonce to sing, and Beyonce didn't sing. Instead, she spoke for 3 minutes, and then Kamala got up there.
How cringe, though.
Cringe moment. That's a
how like she just says like, see you later. I don't like what, but it's full of lies. Again, their whole campaign's full of lies. Their whole campaign is said on lie after lie, and then lies to clean up their other lies.
And she keeps saying the same thing over and over. She doesn't change it. And then what was the one reporter asked her, would you change anything? And she said,
no,
I can't think of anything I would change.
Can't think of anything I would change. And I was a part, and that was the next sentence was the best part for me, was I've been a part of most decisions with Joe Biden. Well, like that right there, like, and I've seen Trump, like his new, one of his new ads is that sent that whole clip on repeat in one of his ads. And I mean, I think people are resonating with it. Like, oh, okay, she finally admitted that she wouldn't do anything different. And she was a part, but she's a liar. Kamala Harris, their whole team, all liars. I mean, and then now she's kind of going back. I'm curious to watch the event tonight she's doing, if she's gonna just talk about how much she hates Trump, or is she actually gonna talk about something
else? I don't know what that's their biggest thing. They talk about how much they hate him. Well, can you give me some things that you plan to do if you become president?
No,
I don't have anything to say. She doesn't say anything. She just says
hates Trump.
And then that Hillary Clinton, oh my God, when she's
by the way, Bill Clinton looks terrible. Did you see the video?
Oh my God, he looks like Joe Biden.
Did you see the video he did where he said, well, if the borders would have been closed, this poor girl wouldn't have died? But he looked terrible while he was saying it.
Somebody actually thought it was Joe Biden, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was Bill Clinton. I think he looks terrible.
Yeah, he does.
Jimmy Carter.
He really aged.
But I don't know. I think people are optimistic. You know, we were out in the field Saturday, all day Saturday, and people were really, I mean, we had great feedback, like really solid, positive feedback. So I think there's been this, especially since earlier, there's definitely been this energy switch with people. personally.
So do you trust the early voting? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I decided, no, I will not go to
Not
early
the
voting.
ballot boxes. There's been some that have been set on fire in Oregon.
Yeah.
And but I do. And here's a couple reasons why I want people to go out and early vote is you can't argue when 50% of the people have voted already. So Obama had unprecedented or quote unquote unprecedented historic voter turnout, and he had 62.1% or like around 62% of voter turnout. Okay, well, 50% of the country's already voted and turned out before election day. I think that's a clear indication of what's going to happen. And also, you can't argue with those kind of numbers. Like you really cannot. Also, I think it gives us time if the hardcore Republicans, hardcore conservatives go out and early vote, it gives us time to see who's left and go chase them down to vote. It's
Yeah,
less work on
that's
the
true.
grassroots campaign. Every day I make lists for people to go out and knock on their neighbors' doors. And I love when I make these lists because I make them new every day because new data is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That less and less people are on these lists for them. And so for us, I have a girl that's a great volunteer. She has like maybe 10 people left in her neighborhood. And so she's like, I'm just going to keep going and knocking on their door until they go out and vote. So for that, it makes it easier to get these low propensity voters and saying, hey, your vote, we really do need you to vote. And we can spend more time targeting them. So from a grassroots standpoint, it's fantastic when people go out and early vote.
Yeah.
People that say, oh, we only need one day to early vote or one day to vote, that would be catastrophic. You could not get 100 million people voting at all. Our local county had 6% voter turnout, which is about 7,000 people, and people are waiting in line for 2 hours.
2 hours. That's what they told me that at the voting place over here, the line was for 2 hours for the early voting.
For the early voting, yeah. We're still in early voting where I'm at, and then the lines have drastically got down there about 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But could you imagine everybody in the country trying to vote on one day? No.
Yeah, I'm hoping when
Logistically
I go, I'm going to hit the traditional. I'm still going to hit it next Tuesday.
I know.
I'm excited. I'm a little. I don't know. We're doing a 24-hour thing starting when the polls open. We're going to have different hosts we're just going to be, it's going to be unmanned. Sometimes we're just going to do live reports, from one of the TV stations. It's going to be a very exciting. I won't be getting any sleep. I mean, I know what happened last 4 years that, Joe said we need to go back to the level. Yeah, I know we do. We need to go back there.
Could you imagine everyone just getting a text on their phone and just hitting a button?
It would be. Would you trust it?
I don't think so.
I don't think I would trust it.
I wouldn't either. But I've thought about okay, because people ask me well, everyone needs to vote on the same day, and I'm like, okay, well, how would you make that happen? Like, what's your plan? Because that sounds crazy.
I just have. I'm thinking.
But your vote, we can count on your vote, though. It's for me. It's the low propensity voters. We have time to chase them because we have early voting.
Yeah, but I'm having what's that post-traumatic stress when I'm thinking about
of what 2020.
Yes,
when we all went to bed and we thought Trump won.
Yeah, we thought Trump won. We woke up and what?
And then they found all these. They started finding all these ballots in different places.
That was a total nightmare. I don't want to live that. So I'm just going to stay up all night. I already have the whole night. I will be up all night.
People have said that we're having a massive election night party, and they're like, "Well, what time does it close? Where are we going? Are we all staying together?" And I'm like,
"So we'll have something. They'll say so if it's going to be too close to call, I'm just going to." I'm praying it's not like that. I hope
and that's why I think early voter turnout is so great because they can't. If you get 70% of the votes or 70% voter turnout, how do you 80% voter turnout? Like you can't really argue with that. I mean, that's unprecedented. It's historic. You're not going to get 90%. Well, maybe. I don't know. People are really fired up right now.
Yeah, I'm fired up, but I just I
You
don't
can't
know.
do it.
I can't do it. I have to go. I'll wait in line on Tuesday. I mean, if I thank God I don't have to go to a regular job, I can stay up all day and do it. Yep, long ass day until
It's
9
gonna be a
p.m.
long day.
It's gonna be a long freaking.
What if he won Pennsylvania though?
Oh my God, I'd be so excited if he won Pennsylvania.
If he could pull Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, I would go to bed. I think I would go to bed on that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a crazy night. But I'm gonna play. I think I have 2 more videos, and
Yeah.
this one really blows my mind. She's referring. We're gonna play this one first. That was the Madison Square Garden. Look at that. Did you ever see so many people in one place for a candidate?
I don't think
No.
we'll ever see that again either.
We won't. And this is what she had to come back on.
6 rallies. These are mini Stop the Steal rallies. These are rallies to prime an electorate into rejecting the results of an election if it doesn't go the way that they want. Because Donald Trump and that entire cadre of people up on that stage, Stephen Miller, etc., do not respect the law of the United States of America. And they either want to win this election or they are using rhetoric of taking it by force. That is what they mean, and that's what they're doing when they are inciting violence and hatred against Latinos, against Black Americans, against Americans who don't have children, against, I mean, you have J.D. Vance literally talking about watering down people's right to vote depending on if they can viably carry a child or not. We have to understand how unhinged this campaign has gotten, and the only reason that the rhetoric has gotten this far is precisely because they are trying to prime the kind of froth that led up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
They keep talking about moving forward and they won't let this go. They will not let this
I know.
They won't let it go.
It was just the point where they were talking about how that was a Nazi
the Nazi Hitler rally, except there were Jewish flags. I mean, they had Jewish flags standing, but we're all hail Hitler, I guess.
So like I just kid like we're so like the MAGA people are racists, are Nazis, like fascists. It's like okay, where are they
wearing MAGA hats? Yeah. I don't know though. I think the Madison Square Garden proved that he could win the populist vote. He could.
Well, it's kind of funny how all the newspapers aren't endorsing anybody anymore. I mean, because they can't if they endorse, Harris, they're like, come on, do you really want her running our country? I
don't think anybody actually does.
I think they're all a bunch. They realize that she didn't even get voted in. She just was handed. And that's another thing. How can that happen? How can they get away with that? I mean,
yeah.
I don't understand how that's legal.
That's right. I don't know the legalities of that. I think that was a big question around when it happened, and then it just happened and just kept going forward, and like nobody started saying anything to that.
I like it that, like you're a young person, that the young people, they're not all voting for Harris. They know.
What's interesting is like, he's polling well with like this 18 to 24 crowd. Not great, not better than Harris, but he's polling really well with this 18 to 24 crowd. And he's polling the least with this like 25 to like 45 women. Like that's who said, and that's my entire club. Like that's my entire organization. That's my entire volunteer base is that age group of women. So I almost believe like the polls are lying a little bit, or women are going to get in that poll and not vote for her. However,
maybe they're pretending.
They're
saying they're voting for her, but are they?
Yeah, exactly. Are they? But there's these really loud women. They're on social. Look at AOC, and she's on social media, and all these big, loud, annoying voices.
Like The View.
The whole people. I wonder what their views are actually nowadays.
The View is like.
I think it's a different energy though. I think the last 2 weeks the energy's for sure shifted.
I just his
But it's still
ads are
scary.
so strong. The ads are so positive. I mean, you have a man who was convicted. They wanted to send him to jail. They wanted to sue. They sued him.
Mhm.
He was almost killed not once but twice. It's like
He's still going.
he's so strong and he's still doing it. And when he walked, seriously, I have to say, when he walked out on the stage the other day, I got teary-eyed. Oh, I got teary-eyed. I just love the man so much.
And I
have
love that
so much.
Melania was there with him. I
Oh,
think that was a
you
great
can
show of
see the
unity.
love. They
Yeah.
love each other. You see how he's
Mhm.
holding her hand. He didn't want to let
Yeah.
her go.
Mhm.
It how to me is my gut's telling me he's gonna, if he
I think he's
wins,
gonna win.
he's gonna be the best president we ever had. And
Oh.
then someday in history, people were gonna actually give him that respect.
The kudos he
Because
deserves.
right now, like, how can you, I mean, I am proud. I am so
Mhm.
proud of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And to
swear
keep
if I
going.
had him here, I'd give him a hug. You know what I mean? And I don't care how they say, "Oh, he saw that stuff about people and he did." Who cares?
Yeah.
You should have heard my father. He used to say he was this, my dad died when he was 79. And you just heard some of the stuff that would come out of his mouth.
Yeah. It's so
You know?
funny because he says, there's one phrase that Trump says that if I'm in the other room, I will have to think, is it Trump or my grandfather? They sound so much alike
Yes.
on this one phrase that he does. And my grandfather has gone back and forth about Trump multiple times, and he always votes for him, right? But he does go back and forth about him. And I was like, I don't know why you have any to say about him. I mean, you say some of the exact same things.
Yeah.
Some of the exact same things come out of your mouth.
And we're not
in be mad at this man.
Joe said we're living what they will be
Mhm.
writing. Yes, exactly. And you know what?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that did come out of his mouth. I mean, he's a man for one. I have sons.
Okay.
I hear some of the stuff that they talk about, and some of the things he said, yeah, they weren't right. But you know what? He's a man. He's a human
Yeah.
being. He's not
He's a human
perfect.
being.
He's a sinner. He's like everybody out there.
Mhm.
I mean,
I love him. I think his policies are great too. I love the way he handles like other world leaders.
Mhm.
I think we will go to war if Kamala wins. You know?
Definitely, I do want justice for
Yeah.
2022. That's
Yeah.
totally. I
I
still
want him
think
to let
that
every J6er out that was not that
Oh
did not
my
commit
God,
any
yes.
violence. I want him out like day one. Can we get
Yes,
them?
and I'm sure he will. That was a bunch. That was I don't even want. I just. Ugh.
They've been in jail for this long.
That
Would be a great show for you.
yes.
I have some great ones that
Okay, we'll do one on that because I think they've
well,
been forgotten, and half of
yeah.
them don't. I almost went. I almost
Did you
went.
really? Yeah.
Yes, I did. My friends were going. I said, they're taking a bus. I said, I'm going to go. I want to go. I want to go. Thank God I didn't go because I'd probably be in prison right now.
I have a couple girls in my club that went to J6. And then I have another girl that I'm really close to that her husband's still in jail
Oh God.
from J6.
They should not
And
even be in. That was ridiculous because it was all
it was
set
all,
up.
and
Set up.
her story is really great. And my girlfriend that went, we were actually talking about it about a month ago, and she was like, it was nothing like, she's like, I'll show you the pictures. Like, they turned our cell phones, they started jamming cell phone service. And yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a shame that one person had to get the woman who got shot. Wow, but yeah, it should never happened. But going back thinking about it, it just makes me so angry. You figure we were just coming off of COVID. I mean, we were just starting getting into COVID, really.
Yeah.
And I think that was evil. And
People
what
were
happened?
amped up. People
Yeah.
were angry. Oh, there was the average American was running on a lot of emotion. I'm
Definitely.
surprised it didn't get any worse than it did.
And the thing is, if something happens, I mean, if Trump wins, which I'm praying he does,
Yeah.
and I hope, there's going to be all kind of riots because this is so ridiculous. They'll be screaming bloody murder and they'll cause problems. But
Just
if it was the other way around, I've never seen a Republican do anybody. They
Mm-mm.
have never rioted.
No.
And it's just
And
the
the
same.
comments, like, even on social media, I mean, the comments I get are only from libs, and I'll go to their content, and Republicans aren't and conservatives aren't in their comments, like, saying all kinds of violent
Yeah.
comments to them. I've
Very
been told to
rude.
go die
TikTok is
and,
the worst.
like, it is terrible, but we don't do that. I mean,
No.
I don't go around stealing Kamala Harris signs from polling locations.
No, but I have to tell you this story. I think I talked about it a little bit. I don't know if I told you about a friend of ours, myself. He got a letter and he put all these Trump signs in. He got a letter in the mail, handwritten letter saying how awful they
Oh
were
my
for putting
god.
and they said they were going to kill their dog and they were going to, I know what kind of person you are now. And it was a handwritten letter. I said, well, first of all, that's threatening.
Yeah.
They did take it to the post office and they should definitely found out. They can tell where it came from.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the kind of people, I mean, who would do that? What kind of person would send another person a letter because they didn't like the sign in their yard and they want to kill their dog?
Yeah.
That's sick. That's
Only
really sick.
liberals and leftists
Yeah.
and those types of things are people that are actually in a cult, not us. I get
Well,
told, like,
they're just they don't I have a friend that no matter what I tell her, no matter what I do, whatever Trump does, that's great. She will not vote for him. She just does not. She would rather vote for an unqualified woman just because she's a woman,
yeah.
too. I would not vote for a woman just because she's a woman. I want someone who's going to protect our children, who's going to protect me, not get us into a war. And this woman, she can't even, she's just that stupid laugh that she does. And half the time she sounds
Did you
like
watch the video where
she's drunk.
She probably is. Did you watch the video of comment on that drunk thing? In the very beginning of her campaign, it did look like she drank a lot.
Yeah.
And now she's kind of cleaned up the last
but she doesn't know how to act when she's
month or two. But the video of where they were like, Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. And then she said, all right, everyone say your names. I'm going to have to send you this clip. And the whole rally just went silent because it was like, what? Like, it was the most cringiest thing. And then she's like, and then she started laughing. She just started laughing. And it was terrible. I mean, it was so silent in that huge rally.
What did Donald Trump say during the Madison rally? He said that her teleprompter broke.
Oh, that's why she should take a few days off the campaign trail.
She couldn't. She was stuck on the one word. I forget what he said it was.
Yeah, I remember it being like
she kept on repeating it because she didn't know what to say. You have to have some kind of knowledge of what you're talking about.
And she doesn't, though. That woman truly has no idea, I believe, what's going on.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's going to be a fun ride.
It's going to be interesting. I on that alone, even if I didn't love Donald Trump, even if I didn't love his presidency and his policy, I would probably vote for him just because I'm not voting for Kamala.
Yeah, I would never vote for
It would be an anti-Kamala vote.
Yeah, it doesn't. I could never vote for her. Oh my God. No, you know who would have been a good vice president for him was that Gabber, Chelsea. I think she would have been a great pick for vice president. I don't know why.
She was still a Democrat at the time, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think the country was ready for a unity.
Maybe in 4 years after he wins, JD can be run for president.
It could be now she's a Republican.
Yeah, she could be his running mate.
But I don't think the country would have been ready for a unity ticket.
No. Well, I think
the MAGA base would have lost their minds.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she's on board now. I don't know any other women that would. Oh, the other one, South Dakota. That's the one who killed her. She killed her dog.
She killed the dog.
That'll stay with me. I don't like that one. But anyways, we're gonna say goodnight and hopefully next week. Yeah, hopefully next week you'll be on the one of the If you want to come on as one
Yeah,
of the
give me a
hosts.
segment. Let me know.
Yeah, we'll find you a slot. You can stay on as long as you want, and you can
Cool.
do live coverage. You can even take it on the road.
Well, we would love to do, I'll definitely do a segment while we have our election night party. The news is coming. We have 2 state reps coming, congressmen's coming. We have basically taken over this election night party in my county.
Yeah, you can even do it at the party if you want.
Yeah.
Do a live.
Yeah. It'll
well,
be, it's going to be really great. As soon as I get off here, I'm going back to work on details.
good. Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm so excited about next week. I hope everything goes good, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you're listening on the rebroadcast, so I'm hoping that Donald Trump wins. So that would be so awesome. I'm going to say a couple prayers, and we'll see you next time. Oops, sorry.